straight to the side, or start from the beginning and talk about the buyer and then the bottom up and
I don't know. You're the one that is. What I would have expected is I've done my top down, I've done my bottom up. This is how I calculated it. This is it. But you want to show your workings with explanation because you said I said that we could come and discuss your working. So I'm listening.
Okay. Maybe others should continue. I could quickly just put mine up on, like, quickly write it out, and then by the time it gets to me, I'll just be able to share my screen.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is that you want to do your own work now.
No, I've done it. I actually have it, but it's written down on paper. It's not typed out.
Snap it and send it. That's in fact, that's the very best. I prefer that. Just snap what you have and send it, or how do you put it on your camera and point it to it, and let's read it from there.
Okay.
Whatever works.
Okay, I think I'll just snap it and then explain
snap it and send it in the group. Snap it, send it to the group.
All right, no problem.
Mr. Banjo, can we have yours? Mr. Banjo, can we have yours?
Yeah, sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm trying to control the noise in my environment, but it's fine now. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I was just able to come up with one or two from here.
No, Banjo, I will not agree to this. I will not agree to this.
That's a build up on.
No, Banjo, I will not agree to this. Banjo, I will not agree to this. You are supposed to calculate it and show how you got it.
Banjo, is it live?
So I've sent mine to the group. Can I just talk about mine pending the time, please? Mr. Banjo is working on his.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sure I heard what you said.
I said I snapped it and sent it to the group. While he's working on his, can I just talk about mine?
So you've sent it to the group. Can we all see it? Is this something you can?
Okay.
You can
let me try to share. I'm using my phone. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. This is fantastic. So please go ahead.
Okay, so I did the bottom up first. So as I wrote here, according to the Nigerian MSME report of 2022 from SMEDAN, the
powered by who?
Sir? Powered by Keeper in partnership with SMEDAN. In partnership with SMEDAN, there are 39.6 million MSMEs in Nigeria. Now I'm talking about MSMEs because our buyers are MSMEs and startups. So there are 39.6 million MSMEs in Nigeria. However, we're not, at this moment, we're not catering to all the MSMEs in Nigeria. We have started to pick a geographical location, which is in Lagos State. And then we found out that 19% of the 39.6 million MSMEs are in Lagos, which is a total of 7,524,000. Now, for the bottom of market size. So what I did, I think I did two calculations. One is for the least amount of the least amount for this least service that we have, and then the highest service in amount that we have. So I did the first one, which is 15,000, which is of course the least amount that we have, by the 7 million MSMEs we have in Lagos State. And that came to 112.8 billion, which is $133 million. And then doing it by the highest service that we have, it's 1.1 trillion, which is about $1 billion. So that's for the bottom up. Now for the top down, I think I had a little bit of an issue there, so I kind of got stuck there. I did like a lot of research and found out that there is no research for the market size for legal services in Africa or even in Nigeria. So I was only able to find the market size for the global market size for legal services, which is $838.92 billion. And then I narrowed it down to the legal tech, because Legalmo is not just legal services, a legal tech, since we are a platform as a service. So the legal tech global market size, I found out so the first one is according to the business research, the business research company. And then the legal tech global market size, according to Special Insights, is 24.6 billion. Now I couldn't find anything about Africa or Nigeria, so I couldn't go on. And so this is all I have, sir.
So this is great work. I'll push it forward for you. On the bottom up approach, fantastic work. But on the top down approach, you didn't finish it. You are right on track. I did not. You found a global. Maybe you did it while we're talking. You found the global. You found the global.
The global market.
Global market size.
For legal.
Yes, that's global.
Yeah. Yes.
Then you now said the second thing is legal global market size.
Legal tech. No,
so that's still global, right?
Yes, they're both global. But I didn't find like market size for Nigeria. Okay. I didn't find anyone for Africa. I thought I was even going to see like maybe one for Nigeria, one for Africa, and then something that will have Nigeria in it. And so I could do like some sort of calculation with the number of MSMEs we have in Nigeria and Africa.
Are you there?
Okay. I'm listening, sir.
There's a very simple way around it, and that simple way is this. You know this size.
The what, sir?
You know the size of the global legal tech market.
Yes,
that's what you know.
4.6 billion.
You also have an idea of what is the number of, if you search it, you'll find it. What's the number of MSMEs in the world? An approximate size. Oh. You will find it. What's the number of MSMEs in Lagos? Approximate.
Okay. Hello, sir. Mr. Dami, I can't hear you again.
Geographical sector in Lagos.
Sir, I didn't.
If there are.
So I lost you for a bit. The last thing I heard you say was the number of MSMEs in Lagos.
If you know the number of the size, the market size of legal tech globally, you know that size.
Yes,
you know you can find out the number of MSMEs in the world. Globally, you can find it out. How many businesses are there in the world? It will give you an approximate value. You know the number of MSMEs in Lagos. You have an approximate value.
Yes.
Then you have your answer. Can you see your answer right?
So I'll just do it. I get it.
Because
I'll work that out now.
That's it. That's
I'll
what we
work it
are.
out. I
But that's
understand.
the reason why people the reason why most investors don't like top-down approach is that there's a lot of assumptions and approximations in between. So that's the assumption. And by the time you do that,
Okay.
is the reason why the third method now comes in to now say, okay, let us tone down the assumptions of the top-down and some assumptions I also make for bottom-up, and then find the middle to then give a good estimate of the market size.
Okay. Okay, sir.
All right. You may unshare the screen. Next, Banja, I won't receive that one for you because that's work already done. I needed to see how you then estimated it. Emmanuel, you're next.
Okay, sir. So I also have it on paper. I've already snapped it, so I will share my screen now.
All right. After Emmanuel, Miss Kesedu, get ready. After Miss Kesedu, Mr. Joshua, after Joshua, Chairman Victor. Did you just do it now?
No, sir, not at all, sir. I can even I have like 4 or 5 pages for the whole calculation. So let me just try to
No. Just go ahead. I trust you. I just asked. I just want to be sure that it's not just now that you're doing the homework.
No.
Go ahead, share screen. Let's talk.
Yeah, so sir. Okay, sir. So based on the classes we had during the last 2 weeks, so I had to like redefine my target audience and the whole business entirely. So now the target is just to and based on the recommendations of the judges, so on the day of the pitch, so I redefined the whole thing, and the target is now to target only get the corn from farmers and to target only poultry industry alone. So and for the top down approach, so now I decided to like estimate the total poultry industry, the size. So and according to the data from International Trade Administration released on June this year, they said that the poultry industry worth currently about $4.1 billion, so which is approximately 4.2 million naira. So then secondly, I decided to calculate the percentage of, because basically what I tend to deal with is corn. So like corn constitutes about 45% of poultry feeds. So now then that means 45%. Then I decided to multiply the 45% by the poultry size to know the size of the corn, the size of the corn for the poultry industry. So and I have $1.83 billion as the size of corn in the poultry industry. So for the bottom-up approach, so the first thing I started to get is the. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, is it this size that you did? Is it for Nigeria? Is it global? Is it for Lagos? What?
It's for Nigeria, sir. For Nigeria, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So now for the bottom-up approach, so the first thing I intended to get is that to estimate the total number of poultry farms that we have in Nigeria. So, but I couldn't get like a real figure. And for me, any figure that is not backed up by a government institute, I don't want to use it. So I couldn't find like a figure for the total number of farms in Nigeria. So that if I can get the figures, I tend to use the figures to calculate from the their daily from their consumption, each farm consumption. So I will know the proportion of corn that they consume based on the feed. Then I'll be able to use it to multiply the total number of farms to get the rough estimate for the bottom-up approach. So that's what I have, sir.
Nice effort. Nice effort. I appreciate the effort. Right? However, I don't agree with you that you cannot have an estimate number of the number of poultry in Nigeria. That's number one. Number two, I think that your market segment is too large. You know, can you actually, it's fine anyway, but that you cannot estimate the number of poultry farms in Nigeria is not completely true. Sometimes it may mean that there are some figures that you now use to get the figure you want. For instance, you may have a document that says, oh, there are 10,000 farms in Nigeria. That's one information. What percentage of farms are poultry farms? Oh, only 10% of all the agricultural farms in Nigeria are poultry farms. Then you have your number of poultry.
I get your point, sir.
You can always, so there are data that you will not find directly, but you will find it indirectly.
Indirectly.
Are we together? You'll find some of this indirectly. So you need to be creative about how you get your details. Fantastic word, Emmanuel. Miss Kisedu.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Miss Kisedu.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Clearly.
All right. Okay. I want to share my screen. Okay. Okay, so
did you just write this?
No, I did it earlier today. I wasn't around yesterday for the class, but I watched the video. So let's
No, it wasn't yesterday, it was before yesterday.
Sorry, on Monday rather. Yeah.
Okay. So let's hear you.
So for the bottom-up approach, the first thing I did was what's the number of pregnant women in Nigeria? So it was according to the United Nations Population Fund, and it was estimated to be 6.4 million pregnant women. Then the average spending on maternity products and services by the Nigerian Institute of Population Studies found out that the average Nigerian pregnant woman spends around 100,000 naira on maternity products and services. So I multiplied the both. So that is 6.4 million and this is a mistake. Okay, times 100 billion. So that is 640 billion. So that is what I found for the bottom-up approach. Please pardon, the 640 should be 100. Right? So for the top-down, yeah, it's supposed to be 100, not 640. So for the top-down approach, so I did like the total size of the Nigerian healthcare industry, and this statistics is according to Statista. So it's estimated to be 1.5 trillion naira. So I also did like the percentage of the Nigerian healthcare industry dedicated to or devoted to maternity care, which is 10%. So I did 10% of 1.5 trillion, which is 150 billion naira. Yeah.
All right. I think this is super, and I think that your industry has a whole lot of data, so it makes life easy for you. But I won't talk down on the effort that you put in, despite the fact that your industry has a lot of data. I think that you've done some great work here. So well done. I don't want to forget this comment because as you're mentioning this data, I remember that, see, one of the greatest conflicts when it comes to market sizing is your citation, is the data. Who are you quoting? So for instance, who are you quoting that says 10% of the healthcare industry is focused on maternity care? Who said so? Who is that authority? As you do your market sizing, you need to quote the person that said so. You need to quote the link where it was published, or the book, or the journal where you read it, right? You need to quote it. All right, so, but of course, that's not what we're discussing now, but I just needed to put that in. All right, thank you very much. All right, you're good to go. Mr. Who else has not gone? Joshua.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. It should be a walk in the park for you.
Not really. Probably because I didn't wait to the end of the class. I just got to know we had an assignment today, but however, I was listening to Legamo, so I quickly had to come up with this um this little calculation. I just hope it suffices, though. So I've sent it to the WhatsApp group. I don't know if you all have access to it, please.
Yeah, can you share it? Share it on screen so I will just.
I'm actually using my phone, but okay. Let me. So sorry, sir.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen now? Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so I quickly came up with this while Legamo was talking, so I'm sorry if it's not in depth. Okay, so however, from what she was saying, I had to grab one or two things because, like I said earlier, I couldn't wait to the end of the class the other day because of work and everything. However, that's not an excuse though. So, my own bottom-up analysis, I saw online from a report that Punch Nigeria did. They said the micro operators we have in Nigeria amounts to 3.224324 million, and SMEs amounts to 11,663. So total MSMEs, which Cleverly is actually servicing, it's 3.224987. So that number times our lowest charge, which is 50,000 naira, amounts to 161,249,350 million. So I also had to add startups. I got these numbers from Nigeria ecosystem presentation. They said the number of startups we have in Nigeria is 3,360. So the Lagos startups amounts to 8% of that amount. So that amounts to 2,957 times our lowest charge, which is 50,000. So we have 147,850,000 naira. So if you add 147,850 with the the market size of the SMEs in Nigeria, we get 161,397,200,000 naira. So I'm sorry that is actually the one I could do now. I'm very, very, very sorry about that, Mr. Dami.
Right. I think the issue is the fact that you didn't wait to the end of the class because
yes, sir.
While your first approach is on point, the top down was not it, because you still deal the top down like you were doing bottom up.
Okay,
We're
sir.
still counting the number of startups.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then I also even need to be sure when you say micro operators, what's your definition of micro operators?
Okay, so I actually just saw the numbers on Google. You know, I told you I just had to quickly come up with it, and it's from one report Punch Nigeria did, and they said micro operators are 3224,324, and SMEs are 11,000. I guess so. I guess
so if I get what you are actually doing here is that you did bottom.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, we can hear you now, sir.
Okay, I was actually speaking on, but apparently I think I went off. So I was giving Joshua feedback. So both Joshua and I went off at the same time, or what?
No, he was still on. He was still on for a bit. I think now he has gone off.
Okay. It's the one I wanted to give feedback on. Okay, so Victor, let's go to you. Pending when Joshua comes back.
Hello, Mr. Dami.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I lost you for a moment, sir.
No, I think it was that feedback I wanted to give it, not both of us off.
Okay, sir.
So what you're supposed to do is to then look for existing data of market size for not necessarily your industry, but somewhere that already exists, somewhere that you can then extrapolate or interpolate to then get your own. So for instance, if you look at what Legambo then did, was to say, oh, what's the size of legal tech? So it's not about startup. So what she did was to say, okay, if I can get data for what I'm looking for the world, I can extrapolate to that of Lagos, and then I can extrapolate that for Nigeria, and then say this is my total market size for Nigeria.
Yeah.
You understand? That's
Yes, sir.
what she did. So it's not as though you would do for micro operators, MSMEs, and small businesses, and then now do for startups. No. All of them form your magnet service. You are supposed to add everything together. Startups, micro operators, MSMEs. Find the number, how many of them, and what is the unit of service that you can offer them per year.
Okay.
So you're saying that approximately, what if I serve them, they pay me on the average 50,000 per year. You multiply, that's your top, bottom up.
Yes,
or
sir.
your top down, you're looking for existing data somewhere, not necessarily for your market.
Okay.
You understand? If your market size already exists, then what are you estimating? Then that's it. But if it doesn't exist, then you now look for, okay, let me look for, I found one market size for legal tech. Okay, how about financial services tech? What's the ratio of legal tech to financial services tech? Then you now use that to then extrapolate for it. That's what top down then entails, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, well, Victor, let's take you. We've already done 36 minutes, just feedback. Victor, are you there? Okay, I'm going to assume that Victor is not on this call. He logged in and then he put a dummy and then he went to do what he needs to do. All right, so let's continue from where we stopped. We will have one final class on Friday. This exercise, we're going to redo it on Friday. So please don't say I didn't mention. We all can ask Banjo for what he presented. What Banjo presented is now what I want you to present on Friday, meaning clean it up, put it in a deck, just describe your market segment and then describe the market size and put your citation there. That's what I want on Friday. From Banjo, what I want on Friday is the calculation, what everybody did today. Now you do yours and come up, and you must get the answer that you showed today. I really hope that I'm clear about that. Okay, so this was where we stopped, and this is a good place to continue. especially because of Joshua. Let me take it from bottom up again. So bottom up, very simple. What is the number of units you can sell or people that can buy? You understand? Most of the time, you can estimate number of units of service you will sell from the number of customers. Sometimes if your customers are buying 2 times a year, you can either put that to fix in the price. So instead of saying 50,000 is what they buy per time, you can say, oh, they buy 100 naira per year, and they've just multiplied by the number of customers. Or you can say, hey, I have 10 customers, but they buy twice a year. So I'm multiplying, these are multiplied by number of customers, I'm multiplied by 20, because 2 times 10 customers now doing 20 units. Then multiply by how much they spend per purchase. So that's just the idea. For top down, what you're basically looking at is an existing total market that you can then narrow down, extrapolate, use different assumptions to then come up with what is your own market size. The final step within top down is to now look for the average. When you think that happens is that by the time you're doing this, it helps you clarify to see if your top down and your bottom up are far from one another. You want to check it and find out somebody is lying somewhere. And you can tone down that lie to come up with something that is reasonable, right? So the average of it is what we call the triangulation method, where you then look for something, the average of both the top down and the bottom up. All right, so your market size, what it allows you to quickly decode is the potential for you to be able to sell in that market. Because if the potential you're going to sell in that market is low, then you are not interested. So your market value at the end of the day is a function of how many, which is what I explained. Remember that I said that if your customers only buy once a year, then you know that, oh, the amount they spend once a year, that's it. But if it's a purchase that is multiple, so for instance, tissue. People buy tissue, packs of tissue every month. So you cannot just use the price of one purchase to find the market value. No, you first need to know the volume. So how many people buy it and how frequently do they buy? That's what you are saying here to give your market volume before you multiply by the average value to get your market value. All right. So there are now interesting terminologies that most VC people then bring to the table to then talk about market size. First and foremost, we talk about what is called potential addressable market. Potential is not what exists right now, but what could be. You understand? What could be? In Nigeria, there are 200 million people approximately, right? As I last checked. But you know that cell phone adoption, which is a very good example for evolving technologies, cell phone adoption is like 50%. Only 50% of people use it. But we know that at a point in time in history will come when almost 100% of the population will use it. So I can say, see, the market size is not like this now, but potentially, if there is more phone adoption, this market size can hit this. That's potential addressable market size. At other times, you can even use something around, let's say, bank accounts. How many people use bank accounts now? No, not everybody are bank people, Yeah. But if you now start having mobile money penetrating the villages and everything, you can say, hey, see, the market size for bank accounts and mobile money is not this yet, but it has the potential of reaching this amount. Why? Based on the future, based on potentials that you have assumed. That's it. For what we have been calculating this morning is total addressable market, right? That is the addressable market that you are looking at. Based on most of the time you're looking at a year and you're looking at a country most of the time. Just look at a country. So just look at Nigeria. What Legamo Lashabi did is to then jump to the next one, which is
We can't hear you, sir.
how long ago did I go?
Quite long.
What was
The
the
last thing we heard, you say was after talking about the total addressable market, you said what Lashabi did was, but that was the end. That was all we had.
Oh, so sorry. All right, so let me go back. Okay, no, I think we're still in the right place. So we were talking about potential addressable markets, and I said what we actually calculated with our top-down, bottom-up was the total addressable market. But what Lashabi did was to go one step ahead. So then I've already ascertained that no, I figured that the people that we can effectively serve or reach as a legal for now is only people in Lagos. So that forms Legamo's ad. So what she calculated in one of her calculations was the addressable market, not the total market. The reason why I can say so is because at the end of the day, if you look at your, am I still on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm still on, good, right? Because when you're looking at your total market, you're looking at both the market you can reach and the market you cannot reach. Most of the time, we're looking at the entire country. Sometimes some people also estimate for West Africans. Some people even do global. We're a business that is focused on serving the world. Our total market size is this amount. They're speaking globally. When they now want to do their addressable market, they can now say, oh, but we're only able to serve West Africa and Middle East. And then that becomes their own addressable market because it is based on their resource, based on their strategy, based on their capacity. That's when you now do your addressable market, right? Then the obtainable market. So the fact that I can reach people doesn't mean that I will be able to reach them. It's not real. So even Lashabi, as you have said, that the people you can serve is in Lagos. The truth is that there are businesses in Badagry that you will not obtain. There are people in Ekpe, despite the fact that they have said, okay, you know what? If people actually come from Ekpe, I can serve them. If people actually come from Badagry, I can serve them. But at the end of the day, what is really obtainable is a fraction of the market. And for blue ocean markets, even if you have a 2%, 5% of some markets, you are made. Forget oligarchies like Dangote and Boa that are connecting 50% of the cement market. There's some market that if you just find a niche and you just take a 5% of that market, you are made. Especially when it comes to even things like fast consumer goods, where there are different products. Everybody is just fighting for market share. If I just get, so for instance, an example of that will be internet service provider. So you have Spectranet, you have Swift, you have MTN, you have Blue, you have Nine-Mobile, you have Fiber One, you have One, you have different IPNX, different. So the market is red. So for a new person coming to that market, if you just get 2% of that market and it's large, the market is red, but it's also large. Just get 1% of that market, you're satisfied. So my point is, sometimes what is obtainable is maybe like a 10, 20% of the market, right? And then so that's what you then estimate. And this is where you are the one estimating. There's no formula, there's no Googling. You're the one that will say, okay, based on our capacity. We cannot serve more than 100 people a year. That's our obtainable market. All right, so I'm going to move on fast. I have a 5 o'clock meeting, but since we're still going to meet one more time on Friday, I want to rush this. And then we can then, I can then take a lot of questions. So whatever questions you have, I'll advise you to hold it, keep it for the group, or ready it for Friday after we deal with the assignments. The assignments on Friday is going to be very straightforward since we are here now. So you see that your serviceable market is a subset of your total available market, and your obtainable market is a subset of your serviceable market. And I think that it should make sense to us already. This next segment we are going to is pretty much straightforward. Is the fact that when you're in the market, that is not a blue ocean market. So not be only you, waka come. The other people who are wakaing into that market, you need to pay attention to what your competition is doing. Now, there's something special I'm going to tell you guys about competition right now. I'm going to mention 3 products, and you're going to tell me which one is a competitor to the other. Garri and groundnut, fried rice and chicken, jollof rice and meat. Of these 3 foods that I've called, which are competing?
Jollof rice and meat and fried rice and chicken.
Okay. Do we all agree with her?
Yes, sir.
Who has a differing opinion? Who has a different opinion, please? Yeah, please go ahead. And we're not taking permission here, please. I'm looking at my screen, not the Zoom call. So unmute and speak.
Okay, I think for me, Garri and groundnut is like the main thing. Jollof rice and the others are competing with.
Garri and groundnut is competing with who?
No, I feel like jollof rice and chicken, fried rice and whatever is competing with Garri low-key, because almost everybody low-key takes Garri. But it's not like the known thing out there that these other folks are competing with Garri.
Okay. Who else has a differing opinion? But I love all the answers that I've gotten, but I will give you the interesting answer to the piece. Because of time, I'm not going to be able to take everybody. All right. The answer is it depends on your customer segment. It depends on your customer. If you are talking to people in Lekki that they don't in their life, they don't even know what that really looks like. This is me assuming that it happens, so I'm not saying that is what I'm saying. It depends on if there are people who don't even see Garri as an option. It's not even there. They don't even think about it. Then it is not competing. Garri is only competing where with potential.
We can't hear you, sir.
Hello, sir. All right, so guys, I'm not sure what's happening. I'm on a proper Wi-Fi, and this is happening again. The competition depends on the customer segment you're targeting. If you're targeting people, Gary is an option too, like Dami. Dami loves Gary and Granot. Gary and Granot will compete for the attention of jollof rice. But if you're dealing with people who Gary, they even think that if you take Gary, it will make you blind. And for them, if you put Gary on the table, there's no competition. The competition then becomes rice and jollof rice and fried rice. So that's the answer to that question. And I really hope that at the end of the day, the reason why products compete is not because they look similar to one another. Products compete because they are able to meet similar needs of a particular customer segment. That's what makes products compete with one another. So if a product is, so for instance, fan and AC can compete, because at the end of the day, why do you have fan? Is to keep the room cool. Why do you put AC in your room? Is to keep the room cool, right? It will compete. But if you want to open a cold store, a cold room, where you put a factory, where you want it to be icy to keep heat and the likes, fan and AC or your cooling equipment, they are not competitors. In the streets to your house, bicycle and motorcycle can compete. That, oh, should I take a bike or should I ride my bicycle? It can compete. But when you're going to Ibadan, bicycle is not considered. It's not in the equation at all. It's not competing. It is now, do I take a bus? Do I take a car? Do I drive my car? Even motorbike is not even in the equation again. So it's based on the customer segment and the needs you're trying to meet that then determines whether something, whether two products and services are competing. And I really hope you got that insight. So before you do your competitive analysis, first and foremost, you want to gather information. You want to identify people who are your top competitors. And when you gather them, you need to find out if they are truly your competitor. You need to find out who their target audience is. If two of you are not targeting the same audience, you are not competing. See, and the people that need to understand this the most are Danfo drivers. When you're driving your car towards the bus stop and the Danfo driver is driving in front of you, rushing to get to the bus stop before you, you want to tell the Danfo driver, like, calm down. We're not competing. I'm not going to pick passengers. If I was a private car owner that I wanted to go and pick passengers at the bus stop, then even though I'm not painted yellow, I automatically become competition. Lashabi will understand this example. If you are a bank, and you want to do some work with a hub and you're providing hub services, even though you're a bank and everybody knows you're a bank and everybody knows that this one is a hub, it is stupidity to then say they are not competing. No, this one is a bank, this one is a no. Oh no, as long as we are going for the same customers and we are offering the same solution to the problems that they have, you are a competition. You are competition, So you need to understand what makes them unique, what their pricing is, sometimes even details of how their social media or their website is performing, what their customer experience is like. You need to understand it to be able to analyze them properly. You need to, the whole exercise of gathering that information is then to be able to find out what stands you out. And this is a very perfect example of how you then want to present it. You want to create different criteria, right? And then begin to grade how they perform versus how you perform. And then you want to use that to identify the things that you then need to work on that will make you different from the competition. So as per competition analysis, while as a driver, your face is faced, you face your front, you don't drive your car looking at the rear view mirror. But once in a while, it is advisable to then look at the rear view mirror to know what is going on, right? That is to say, while your attention is on the market and satisfying your customer, once in a while, it won't harm you to take a peep at your competition, see what it is they're doing that you may not be doing. Be the best. It is the only market, it's the only market that is not crowded. So regardless of what the competition is doing, if you churn out unique value proposition, the market will seek you out. And it is not always crowded there. Whenever you do excellent work, you'll find out that not many people are doing excellent work out there. So the assignment again, using the two approaches, calculate this time around your TAM, your SAM, and SUM for your idea. I apologize that I will not be able to take questions right away as I have another 5 o'clock meeting I need to jump right into. But I'll be happy to take questions that you might have in the WhatsApp group, and then to take on follow-on questions on Friday when we wrap this all up on market sizing. So next week, we're just going to look at what we will all do. This time around, do it in 2 slides at least. 2 slides. One to talk about your market sizing. One, no, I'm sorry, please, I'm adding competition to it. Your market sizing, your TAM, your SAM, show it in, well, after you show your working, show it in a graphical format, and then do your competitor analysis. Let's see how much you understand the market that you're serving. Let's see how much you understand other people who are also serving the same market as you do. And then so that you already begin to up your deck. Remember to put your citations. Who are you quoting? Who are you taking your data from? Who is that authority that you're taking your own data from? Wow, so I wasn't sharing my screen all the way I was speaking. Well, it's all good. We all heard what I said. So I look forward to seeing you all on Friday. Femi, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for showing up. So if we have questions, just like Mr. Time said, so you can just give our questions, then take it off from there. All right. See you all